Emma, can I just tell you that on the inside, I was doing the dorkiest happy dance ever when you asked me to speak on your behalf tonight? I mean, serious X cubed with my fingers dorky. You would have shook your head and said, "Oh, Miss Hudson." In fact, you might be doing so right now. But here's the thing. You get a certain look in your eyes and it says, "I'm not sure I'd be doing what you're doing, but I'll hang with you anyway." That look and all that it says is exactly what makes you so amazing, so admirable, and it's why I was so excited. Because you'll hang with me in math class and let me try all kinds of crazy teaching ideas, some of which worked and some of which, well, didn't. And then you'll tell me fun family stories or talk about your weekend and share your dreams. Of course, you do this with your friends as well. You take people and all their different interests and activities and you find common ground. You build consensus. You bring people together. You'll get excited with me over math and then you'll turn around and remind me that there's more to life. When I think of you, my heart smiles. Your soul is gentle and wise, strong and thoughtful. I am so very deeply honored to have had the privilege of getting to know you even just a little. And by the way, I promised you a copy of your college letter of recommendation as a graduation present. I have it with me. Come get it when these speeches are all said.
Liam, I was surprised when you asked me to speak on your behalf. I don't think I have ever teased a student as bad as I teased you. In my defense, you made for an easy target. No offense, but you're kind of goofy. I mean, I was really tough on you. Sometimes I would feel bad about how mean I was being. And a couple seconds later, I wouldn't. To your credit, you took it all in stride, laughed, and realized that I wasn't serious. I know you eventually figured this out because about halfway through the year, you started giving me about as hard of a time as I was giving you, and I loved it. It is a wonderful trait to have, not only understanding when joking is good-natured, but also letting things roll off your back. Not everyone you meet in life is going to be nice, and the trick is not to let them get to you. I'm glad you didn't let me get to you, because teasing has a different connotation to me. You see, in my family, we show each other how much we care about them by how much we tease each other. If you weren't being picked on by someone, nobody really cared enough to do it. So there's a direct correlation. The more I pick on someone, the more I like that person. So I must have liked you a lot. As you go off to college, stay goofy. Don't take the words of others too seriously, and don't be afraid to give others a hard time in return. Most importantly, though, don't forget to stay in touch. I'd love to have the chance to pick on you some more.
Dear Chris, what I appreciate most about you is your ability to listen. While your classmates engage in heated debate or malarkey, you sit quietly, observing and considering everything they're saying. Sometimes you'll offer your own commentary, but mostly you are a master observer. In a very loud world, the ability to listen is seriously underrated. I believe this skill, above all others, will serve you well in life. I also admire the enthusiasm you have for your various interests. While many people are interested in cars, few have traveled to Munich to visit BMW's production plant and museum. Similarly, a lot of people have a passion for art and design, but few can say they completed a marketing internship with the head of IT for Cisco. When you care about something, you're all in, and I think that's fantastic. You extend this care to your family. Of course, all of your classmates know about your German heritage, and it's fantastic that you travel to Stuttgart each year to visit your grandparents and extended family. Ultimately, those relationships with your family will matter most, so keep up this fantastic dedication. Hampton-Sydney will be lucky to welcome you into their freshman class, and I know you'll be magnificent. So, alles Gute, viel Glück und gut gemacht.
Glenn, I have to admit that I procrastinated writing your speech because I just knew there was no way for me to capture the person you are and what teaching you has meant to me in such a short speech. In writing this, though, it has been fun reflecting on our time together, which started back when you were just a 7th grader making truffula trees at Woodville Elementary. We also had a short but memorable stint on the basketball court when you were in 8th grade. For a few years, I didn't get to see you very much, until your junior year when you were forced to sit in my classroom for 2 hours a day, sometimes even in a row. It was during that junior year that I really began to understand and appreciate the person that you are. I couldn't decide what to focus on in my speech, whether I should talk about your love for JT, your support for my bad history jokes, my support for your bad history jokes, your passion and drive for psychology, your love for nature, or your affectionate, tolerant attitude toward the senior boys who tease you endlessly. Finally, though, I settled on 2 main attributes. The first thing I greatly admire about you is your passion for life and your interest in an array of hobbies that are unique and deeply important to you. I like that you know yourself and are confident and comfortable in that knowledge. That confidence allows you to appreciate and celebrate the hobbies and interests of others, even if they do not overlap with yours. Which brings me to your second characteristic that I so deeply admire. You are one of the kindest, most encouraging people I have ever met, let alone taught. Mother Teresa instructed us to let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. You already seem to have this generosity of spirit mastered. I'm constantly in awe of the kindness and encouragement that you bestow on everyone you come across. I hope that you always guard that part of your heart because you are not only impacting those with whom you're interacting, but also all the people who bear witness to your compassion and heartfelt encouragement. I know that we already have your future all mapped out to become the President of the United States so that you can create a position for me so that I can finally have a tour of the White House. But on that journey you are taking to get there, never forget that you are a remarkable, inspiring, and adventurous person with the power to change and impact the world and those who live in it. And I truly believe that you will.
It is an honor and a pleasure to speak today on behalf of John. What I admire the most about John is his sense of humor and determination. You are a hard worker. It is a personal challenge for you to succeed. I could always count on John to work problems on the board or contribute during our calculus class discussions. You have natural math instincts and insights in regards to mastery of the course content. You are always willing to help other students, whether in class or in math club, and you do an excellent job explaining the process for solving math problems. John, as a teacher, I taught you calculus, but you have taught me a few things as well. You demonstrated to me the benefits of being willing to take risks. I respect your perseverance and courage, leaving family and friends behind to pursue different life experiences and cultures. You showed me that humor goes a long way in making someone's day brighter, so continue to laugh often. You remind me that while we are all individuals, we are also part of the entire larger Steward School family and community. I will miss stopping by your table in the Junior Commons to chat with you and Tina about your day, math class, and life in general. Now you are ready to begin the next step in your journey. So wherever your future leads you, we, your Steward family, will be cheering you on. Please come back and visit so we can get updates on what and how you are doing as you follow your passions. Continue to grow and emerge as the best person you can be. Congratulations on your graduation. Best of luck in your future personal and academic endeavors.
My speech for Matea has been a long time in the making. When she was a freshman, she bounded into my office and asked me to write her baccalaureate speech. The best is that ever since then, she would ask me how my speech was coming along. As most people know, Matea has 3 younger brothers, and when I first got to know her, I couldn't keep track of their names. So I decided to name them after the 1980s band New Edition. I would ask her how Ricky, Bobby, Ronnie, and Mike were doing. Matea likes to complain about her brothers, but as evidenced by her senior speech, she cares about Michael, Tommy, and Joey a great deal. Matea was able to show this maternal side during her junior year through Miss Define's Bean Project. Students were given a bean to take care of for a few weeks, nurture, and plant in the Bryan Lab. Matea's plant, Brian, survived solely on a lollipop stuffed into the cup. Miraculously, Brian thrived on these less than ideal conditions. Matea is passionate. She is passionate in her studies, her sports, her friends. As much as she may complain about school or practice, she is there every day working as hard as she can. She cares about her friends and her teammates. One day, I was not at school because I had to take my daughter to the doctor. I got a text from Matea in all caps, "Where are you?" When I got to school, I said, "Matea, are you okay?" Apparently, she just needed to print something. Nothing shows that someone cares about you like a text in all caps. Matea, I will miss our talks in the hallway next year. You're always ready to talk about a problem, tell a funny story, or ask for food. Good luck at school next year.
When I think of Claire Shue, I often remember a favorite quotation: kindness is the greatest wisdom. Claire is a master of kindness. To know her is to adore her. Despite the fact she's only 18 years old, Claire is considered the mother figure and confidant for all of her friends. Yet even though she's the warmest person you could imagine, Claire's tough too. During the summer after her sophomore year, she went on a school trip to Davos, Switzerland that included hiking in the Alps, despite arthritic pain that would slow any lesser soul. Claire's brave. She tells great stories about her explorations in China, wandering through exotic markets, and negotiating all manner of cultural differences. The insights she shares with others are sometimes impossibly courageous. Not to mention the fact Claire's funny. She loves reading biographies of stand-up comedians and sharing sometimes hilarious observations in English class. Frankly, I don't know what I'll do without Claire's tutoring and current teenage lingo, but I do know her eyebrows are on fleek, her outfit is on point, and she favors athleisure wear. Honestly, I've decided Claire is some type of social genius. How many people do you know who would chat up a man sitting next to them on an airplane and wind up interning at the local television station as a result? This is quintessential Claire. Everyone is drawn to her, and she's too humble to realize how truly extraordinary she is. When thinking of my hopes for Claire, I went to author Neil Gaiman for inspiration, who writes, "I hope you will have wonderful years, that you'll dream dangerously and outrageously, that you'll make something that didn't exist before you made it, that you will be loved and you will be liked, and you will have people to love and to like in return. And most importantly, because I think there should be more kindness and more wisdom in the world right now, that you will, when you need to, be wise, and that you will always, always be kind."
People say you can tell a lot about someone by the way they care for animals. I don't think anyone better encapsulates that perspective than Morgan Van Davelaar. As many of you know, she spends a significant amount of her time working at a veterinarian's office. When others in AP biology are dreaming about becoming physicians, Morgan maintains a laser focus on her goal of helping animals. Last year, she even dreamed up an app that would help connect shelter animals with people looking to adopt. Morgan, I can tell a lot about the way you are by how you care for animals. You're quiet, but your kindness speaks volumes. You are intimidatingly brilliant, and you have a sincere interest in science. You're diligent, and frankly, you're more mature than I am. You're the strongest student I've ever worked with since coming to Steward School. And it's because you just do what's right. So when you asked me to record this farewell, I was terrified. How do I put into words the respect and honor that this entire faculty feels for you? I couldn't do that in a dog year. So Morgan, I'll simply say this. Keep working hard towards your goals. Don't ever apologize for your curiosity, and let your character show other people the right way to act. If more of us saw the world the way that you did, I think both people and animals would be happier. It's been a privilege to be a part of your journey, and I speak for all of us when I say we will miss you.
Dear Ethan, first of all, allow me to thank you for introducing me to the joy of tiny hands. I'm not sure why, but I think these are hysterical. So thanks for that. To be serious though, I'm really proud of all you've accomplished this year. From serving as president of BBYO to working really hard to get into CNU, you have shown what grit and determination can accomplish. For those who don't know, BBYO stands for B'nai B'rith Youth Organization, and Ethan is the president of the Richmond chapter. He held 3 different officer positions before becoming president, learning the ropes of the organization along the way. As president, he has traveled to meetings around the country for BBYO, serving as a representative of our city and state. Ethan, I know you've given a lot of time and energy to this organization, and I'm really proud of the dedication you've shown. With these accomplishments, I hope you've come to realize that you can achieve anything you put your mind to. You have a natural gift for leadership, and I hope you'll seek out opportunities to lead in college and beyond. Steady, principled, dependable leaders are sometimes hard to find. So it's important for you to use this talent to the best of your ability. I know you will. Have an amazing time at CNU, and be sure to keep in touch. Bye for now.
Did you know the name Ross actually comes from the Gaelic word for promontory, a point of high land jutting out over the ocean below? Plus, one of the most famous explorers who shared Ross's name, James Clark Ross, charted much of the coastland of Antarctica, discovering and naming islands, volcanoes, sounds, and glaciers along the way. How appropriate that Ross shares the name of a fearless explorer, a voyager of unknown lands. Charles Ross Arrington is a discoverer, voraciously exploring new ideas with a hungry mind and an open heart. As everyone who has had the pleasure to teach him knows, Ross is the student in the front row, subtly nodding his head in encouragement, the one who wants to know even more, a gentleman and a scholar. Ross has the cadences of a Southern preacher, the patient ease of an elder, and the quiet maturity to know his own mind. He treats his friend with equal doses of great love and dry humor. Seniors in Shakespeare counted on Ross to play the angry father Aegeus in A Midsummer Night's Dream, the doddering, lecturing Polonius in Hamlet, the pained and wronged Shylock in Merchant of Venice, and finally, our magical wizard Prospero in The Tempest. Ross entered each part with his trademark humble intelligence that infuses everything he does with quiet, all-encompassing grace. I hope to hear from Ross as he heads off to Elon, but I can already picture him there, nodding along in his seminars, quietly urging his professors to share the very best they have to offer. Like his namesake, he will discover unknown lands, and like the promontory, he will be standing like a mountain overlooking the ocean below.
Jennifer, the first words that come to mind that I think best describe you are inquisitive, conscientious, and dedicated to your studies. You have an intuitive grasp of advanced math fundamentals and learn new concepts quickly. Over the course of the time that I have known you, I've seen you grow in confidence and in skill. You may have started the year as a shy, quiet student in calculus class, but that quickly changed. You always impressed me by the way you faced your challenges and struggles head on. You were not afraid to ask for extra help when you needed it. As a class leader, Jennifer, you served as an example to others by asking the questions that everyone else was thinking but was afraid to ask. You had good insights when the class was discussing various concepts or working on a lab. I could always count on you to contribute during those class discussions. You were a joy to teach. Jennifer, I am impressed in how you were able to maintain a healthy balance in both your academics and your life outside the school day. As a contributing member of the newly formed math club, you share your passion for solving challenging math problems, and you are always willing to help other students, and you do an excellent job explaining concepts being practiced. I love your sense of humor that often puts your peers at ease. I have appreciated the chance to work with you as your mentor for your senior project. I have enjoyed learning about knitting techniques from you. You take pride in your accomplishments, and you are committed to doing well in whatever endeavor you put your mind to. Jennifer, what I admire and respect the most about you is your strength to come to the Steward School from China as a 10th grader. You left the security and family and friends to join our community. It takes a great deal of courage to do this, and you learn to persevere and excel. In a day or so, you will be a graduate of the Steward School, off to college and new experiences. I will miss seeing your smiling face and upbeat spirit next year, but I know you will be busy helping others to experience success. You will accomplish whatever you decide to do, but don't forget to come back and share your stories and adventures. I cannot wait to hear all about the people that you'll meet, the friends you'll make, and the fun that you'll have while you pursue your love of learning. Congratulations and best wishes, Jennifer.
Rob is a classic Southern gentleman. He's a good student, a good athlete, he's popular, he loves SEC football. He's polite, he has good manners, he dresses nicely, he's laid back. He has a great relationship with his friends and his girlfriend. Apparently, his only vice is gaming when he should be paying attention to Xander. For the last 4 years, Xander and Rob have been consistently on the homecoming court or the prom prince and princess. You can't do that if you're not a good guy or girl. I love seeing Rob at talent night this year after a lacrosse game. He came in with eye black all over his face straight from the game to support his peers. I have this image of Rob walking across campus next year with a huge smile on his face. As he passes every frat brother, he gives a friendly wave. Hey fellas, see you at the game this weekend. Rob, thank you for your positive attitude and friendly demeanor. Best of luck next year.
Dear Jack, I can vividly remember our first meeting. You had just started 9th grade, and if you could have disappeared under the table, I'm sure you would have. You didn't make eye contact with me, and everything you said was mumbled. Fast forward 4 years, and it's incredible to reflect on how much you've matured and changed. Not only do you make eye contact and enunciate, but you're also too tall to fit under the table. In all seriousness, I'm so proud of the young man you've become. You have integrity, direction, and a strong will, and those qualities are going to take you far. One of your best characteristics is how deeply you care for your family. I know your siblings especially are always on your mind. When you told me about your family spring break trip this year, I could tell how much joy you had experienced together. Your relationship with your family is special, and I hope you never stop appreciating that fact. And now, it's time to go. In a flash, our 4 years together have passed. I know your time at CNU is going to be amazing. You worked so hard to achieve that admission, and if you carry that work ethic with you to college, you'll be brilliant. Please keep in touch. I'd suggest a lunch meeting, but you tend to forget those. But really, I wish you nothing but the best, and I can't wait to see what you put your mind to next.
Katie, my first memory of our journey together is getting to know you in Algebra 1. You and Liza were partners in the back of the corner of the classroom by the door. I know math was not your favorite subject. However, it was exciting to see you be part of the winning team in the race to construct the base support for our ramps project. You could turn a wrench with the best of them. I remember the real joy we felt when we actually met the client, watched her use the ramp you helped build, and knew that we helped her regain a sense of independence to be able to do things for herself that we often take for granted on a daily basis. That was certainly a day we answered the age-old question in math class, when are we ever going to use this, Mrs. Filler? As time went on, I enjoyed stopping by our old math classroom and being comforted by the fact that you and Liza were still partnered by the door learning math. This year, we're back together again. I was thrilled that Liza was still part of the team. I know that you say that you're not good at math yet, and I have watched you grow and mature into a more confident person, especially in math this year. I can tell you now that the countdown to Christmas next year in stats class will not be the same without you and your updates and wonderful enthusiasm for the holiday. I love that you follow your own path and dreams, that you are true to yourself, your ideals, and loyal to your friends. I have also enjoyed watching you on stage, taking on challenges in front of audiences or working behind the scenes directing musicals. I am very proud of your accomplishments, both in and out of the classroom. I hope that you enjoy your time at the new school next year. I cannot wait to hear all about your adventures there. I expect to see you before Christmas of 2017. Katie, I will really miss seeing you in math class next year, just remember that next year, when you're sitting in math class in New York City, Liza and I will be there in spirit. Stay in touch.
It goes without saying that Jack is a man of few words. He comes to your class, pays attention, does his work, and excels on the assignments. Jack reminds me of the story about the couple that was concerned about their child who wasn't talking. The couple takes the child to the doctor, and the doctor says the child is healthy. Finally, one night, the child says, "This soup is too hot." And the adults say, "Why haven't you spoken until now?" He says, "Up until now, everything has been fine." That child is like Jack. Jack doesn't talk because everything is good. He excels in the classroom, on the soccer field, and in the band. He never complains. There are all these cool things about Jack. Did you know he was offered a $20,000 college scholarship for playing League of Legends? Did you know that Jack can solve a Rubik's Cube instantaneously? And finally, did you know Jack is actually really chatty while gaming with his friends? Apparently, he can be pretty ruthless, which coming from Jack, everyone thinks is hilarious. Jack, I can't wait to see what you're going to do next. When you do it, make sure you come back and tell us all about it.
Jack Hambrick. It is my delight to speak on behalf of Jack Hambrick, or Brick, or Hammy, as he is called by his classmates. He is a fine young man, and I've enjoyed watching him grow up from the only sophomore in my Physics 1 class, and putting up with the antics of those crazy freshmen, to the student he is today in my Human Anatomy class, and soon to be graduate of the Steward School. Jack transferred 3 years ago from Deep Run High School and said to me that he immediately felt at home in the smaller, more personal way of life at Steward. One of my fondest memories is when he and Rob and Will worked on their potato cannon project in design class, and we're all so proud when the cannon actually worked. Jack goes about his daily life in a quiet and unassuming way, yet he's also that person that can make a funny remark out of the blue, or answer the question in class that no one else can, or be the one that you turn to when you really need help or need to get the job done. He is one of the most respectful students I've known and has always been very conscientious about getting his work done. Jack is one of those students who learn best by listening, which I think is a good reminder of the lesson that still waters run deep. Little did Jack know that when he thought he was getting out of a lot of hours of community service by volunteering with Habitat for Humanity, he was beginning on the road to exploration of a personal passion and an unexpected turn in his career path. Jack continued to work with Habitat for his internship junior year and eventually ended up in a supervisory capacity for the organization. He even had to be loud and assertive daily and found that he had that capacity and more. Jack will be attending school at Christopher Newport University next year with the goal of obtaining a degree in construction management. This summer, he is planning to get a job at Lowe's Supply Company to get even more practical experience in the construction business. In his senior speech, Jack said that each person has something they are good at or enjoy, even if they don't know it. I believe that Jack has discovered that something during his time here at Steward. I will miss the calm and steadying presence of having Jack in my class next year. We will miss you at Steward, Jack, and I wish you all the best and Godspeed as you enter CNU.
Karen, you have a remarkable gift with your artistic talent. The way your hand just seems to know where to lay your colors or blend your pen makes it appear like you are sitting in the middle of a garden with the flowers growing right in front of you. That is not the case. The flowers, or for that matter, the beauty of nature, lives inside of you. You observe, respect, and appreciate the nature around you, and you let it flow from your heart and hand. This is a gift that climbing has presented to you. Climbing has influenced your love for nature and artwork. In fact, in climbing, every move you make is premeditated. You plan out everything that you need to do. The concentration and the intensity of your climbing skills transfers beautifully right over to your artistic works. I thought your senior speech exemplified this. As you began your speech, you immediately captured the audience and brought them into your world of splendor. Rock climbing is your main purpose in life. This is obvious. You can be found at peak experiences every day after school. On weekends, you are either climbing outside somewhere in Richmond or in state and national competitions in Utah, Colorado, or even California, not to mention half the states in the United States. You have a unique, up-close and personal view of what we can only see from a distance. When I first met you, you talked in a different language that fascinated me. A typical statement could be, boofing off the Jimmy and hit some gnarly air off the Chaucy Rock, or slacked back to Crossroads for some bucha. All the best to you at Virginia Tech next year. I know we will be able to find you if we look up high into the nearby mountains. Karen, let's stay in touch.
I would describe Xander as automatic as a student. She comes in, does her work, doesn't want to be bothered by anyone else, and wants to be as prepared as possible for the quiz or the test. She does not want to be surprised by anything. But as much as Xander is an academic machine, she is the complete opposite when it comes to something that she feels is not right. She describes why she thinks something is unfair and makes her point eloquently. It is the combination of fire and ice, if you will, that will take Xander far. Xander is a very successful model, but wants to keep that part of her life low key. I think you would have to be pretty brave to be a model. She goes on these shoots where she misses school, and she never complains and always has her work finished. She's involved in the school community and wants to make things better. She's a loyal friend and fusses at Rob when he needs it. Xander, I think your intellect and your drive are going to take you far in life. Good luck, and I can't wait to hear all about it.
Ilse Diaz. It is my delight to speak on behalf of Ilse Diaz. She is one of those rare persons that lights up a room with her smile, her engaging, unabashed personality, and with her sincere, kind way with others. Not to mention her thought-provoking questions about the meaning of life, conspiracy theories, aliens, and the nature of reality. Ilse is a good person and a good student. I've enjoyed having Ilse in class this year, and it was always too quiet whenever my favorite Latina was absent. Ilse has come a long way from her librarian glasses and being a high school musical fanatic. I have enjoyed watching her grow up from her post-rebel cheerleading phase in freshman year to learning kickboxing. Ilse does not follow trends. She is the trend, her trend. Ilse stated in her senior speech that self-esteem has never been her top quality. Well, of all of the students that I have taught in my over 30 years of experience, Ilse is one of the most secure, comfortable with herself, and confident students that I have ever known. During her years at Steward, she has learned to love her differences, her Latin heritage, and all of the things that make her a unique person. If you want to see a true living definition of the Steward mission statement, look no further than Ilse. Outside of Steward, Ilse has also been active in volunteering with the local Mexican embassy. Because of her level of involvement, this past December, Ilse was selected to attend a special program on social justice at the Supreme Court in Mexico City. Next year, Ilse will be attending Virginia Commonwealth University to study humanities with an eye towards political science. It would not surprise me if she becomes a leader in some capacity in public service in the local Richmond community. Ilse is going to be a positive, successful person in life in whatever career she chooses, because she is one of those bright lights that cannot be hid under a bushel. We will miss you at Steward, Ilse, and I wish you all the very best on the next phase of your life's journey.
Tucker, my fellow adoptee, you have brought me joy since the moment I met you. Funny story. I remember in freshman Honors Physics 1 during tests, you would approach my desk with your test in hand, and all the while, through a series of head and facial contortions and sentence fragments, you would have answered your own question before you even got to me. I didn't think I could be any more entertained. I was wrong. This mustache, you ask? Funny story. One day, around the cafeteria salad bar, I looked up, and there you were, nonchalantly putting a salad together with a green and orange mustache. Tucker, what's with the mustache, I asked. Oh, I fell asleep in English class, he responded, and kept on with the salad. This old thing? Funny story. You recently rocked this getup as part of MK and Katie's senior showcase play. Rocked it. Tucker, all of these stories and so many more accumulate to reflect a young man who has grown into himself as only you could have. You did this, all very publicly, by owning your sometimes awkward words and questions that really went nowhere to professors on field trips, by owning the trials and successes of your academic work, by owning your mustache, owning your athletic poster pose, and owning your Betty Bumbrick role. In doing so, you have brought so much joy to so many around you and have shown your heart to be of such a size that I don't know how it fits into your chest. I'll close with a quote of advice. Tucker, we must button our beaks and be brave, or my name's not Laura Atkinson. Now, you might well be afraid, but never show anyone the slightest sniff of fear. He's rough, but he's ready. Keep owning it, Tucker. I will miss you so.
Picture a beautiful girl with enormous brown eyes sharing bundle after bundle of eloquent poems. This is my first impression of Charlotte Finn, who must have shared over 50 perfect poems with me during her 16th year. Charlotte, the gifted poet, who weaves the most bewitching stories about her own life, starting back in her early childhood with her connection to her beloved grandfather. The jet setter, who spent a summer studying poetry in England, soon to be followed the next summer, spent studying writing in Prague. Yet Charlotte doesn't just travel the world composing gorgeous, heartbreaking verse. She's also an accomplished actress. This shouldn't be surprising. Charlotte has a flair for the dramatic, in her writing, in her acting, and in the way she experiences her life. Oh, Charlotte. The girl who just can't resist overflowing a perfectly good cup of tea with sugar cubes. The girl with a ribbon in her hair who can't help flopping on her friend's lap, even though an empty seat is right next to her. The girl who expresses herself through poetry as if it were her lifeline. In Letters to a Young Poet, German poet Rainer Maria Rilke advises young writers, have patience with everything that remains unsolved in your heart. Try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books written in a foreign language. Do not now look for the answers. They cannot now be given to you because you could not live them. It is a question of experiencing everything. At present, you need to live the question. Perhaps you will gradually, without even noticing it, find yourself experiencing the answer some distant day. Charlotte, I hope you continue to love the questions, to live a life of beauty that feels authentic to you, and to write a future that brings you true joy and true peace.
Lucy, I've been so impressed by how you've grown up over the past few years. When I first met you, you barely spoke. Since then, you've become more confident as a student and a person. For your speech, I thought it would be fun to make an acronym with your name to describe you. As a side note, your full name includes 2 Y's and 2 U's, which makes this a little more challenging. And I plan to use it to destroy someone the next time I play Scrabble. L, Lucy loves animals. I know you talk about your dog at home in China, and you got very excited when you found out that your host family has a hedgehog as a pet. You love sharing pictures of both of these pets. U, unyielding. You work so hard to understand something, and when you don't do as well as you would have liked, you stick with it until you understand. C, candid. You have learned to express yourself, both to adults and to peers. You talk about what you think is right, and you share what you're thinking about various topics. You aren't nervous to speak your mind and advocate for yourself in difficult situations. Y, youthful. You approach new experiences with a youthful perspective. Y, YouTube. You're always checking out the coolest shows and anime from China. And unique. Above all, you're unique and individual. You know what you like and what you don't like. Lucy, I wish you the best of luck next year.
Dear Emma Z, it has been such a pleasure to witness all of your hard work and success over the past 4 years. You've given your best in the classroom and in numerous extracurricular activities. I hope you feel like it is all paid off as you head to one of your top choice colleges. What I admire most about you is your selfless heart. You give your time and care to children with special needs when you volunteer for Buddy Ball. You help with advocacy for special needs children and their families by working with the No Different organization. You volunteer at the Richmond SPCA and the Henrico Humane Society, walking dogs awaiting adoption. And you volunteer for the Special Olympics Summer Games each year. Your dedication to these activities reveals your passion for giving and serving, and that passion is a beautiful thing. Given your love of helping others, it's natural that you're considering becoming a teacher. I know your students will benefit from your intellect, dedication, and care. You will be a phenomenal teacher, and I will be proud to call you a colleague someday. In the meantime, I wish you the very best. Have an amazing college experience and continue volunteering your time to others while you're at it. I know you'll continue to be exceptional.
When it comes to Marvin Cannon, you're talking about two different guys. You're talking about Marvin Cannon on the floor, the basketball player, the leader, the dominating force, super athlete, does a lot of different things for us, helped bring success to this program over the last 2 years. Hard to match his production on the floor and how he goes about his business. What most people don't realize is how much of a leader he is behind the scenes with the young guys in practice, playing the big brother role. He embraces all of his basketball guys as his family. And for that, I have a lot of respect for him as a leader and a player. The person I've also gotten to know is Marvin off the floor, and that's the quiet, humble young man who is very family-oriented, very bright young man, introverted. He's actually very shy until he gets around his teammates. But he has a very bright future ahead of him. I consider him more like family now that I've gotten to know him for the last 2 years. He's got a lot of charisma, high integrity guy, and so I wish nothing but the best for him. His future is bright, and Marvin, congratulations on making it to this point, and you've got a long, long way to go. Congratulations.
Alex Jobe. It is my honor to speak on behalf of Alex Jobe. He is the epitome of the Jack Armstrong, all-American type young man, and I've enjoyed watching him grow up during our shared time at Steward, especially on the baseball field, to the strapping young man he is today. The first time I met his mom, Lori, she informed me that Alex loves baseball. Now, I have coached Alex on the field and in the classroom. I can tell you firsthand that he is a good person and a National Honor Society student, and that, yes, he loves baseball. As a freshman, Alex was the lone freshman on our hybrid upper school, middle school JV baseball team. Still, he provided a critical connection to our diverse group to allow it to come together as a cohesive unit. And when varsity had a game and the middle schoolers had a game, Alex and I spent many an afternoon together, hitting and catching in a one-on-one version of practice. As a sophomore in our design and build class in the Bryan Lab, Alex built a wiffle ball launcher as his semester project. I'm not sure if he had more fun building a machine or engaging in our impromptu class games of wiffle ball to test out his design. Alex is Steward's baseball's king of the walk-off. I remember his clutch walk-off hit to defeat the Miller School as a JV player, and his dramatic walk-off hit just last year once again against the Miller School as a varsity baseball player. And this year, he has already had big hits that have decided the outcomes of games for his teammates. Did I say that Alex absolutely loves baseball? Truly, baseball has marked the time that Alex has been a Steward. His years at Steward have rolled by like an army of steamrollers, erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked his time, and Alex reminds us of all that was good and could be again. Alex is the type of person you want to have on your team, on your committee, as a classmate, or just someone to hang out and have fun with. He goes about his daily life in a quiet and unassuming way, yet he is also that person you turn to when you really need help or need to get the job done. Next year, Alex will matriculate to become a Davidson Wildcat, the 6th generation of his family to do so. He plans to study sociology and economics with the eventual goal of becoming a business consultant. I believe it is significant that Alex spent his senior speech on the theme of thanking the teachers who made an impact in his life. Not surprisingly, in Alex's favorite baseball movie, The Rookie, after winning the district baseball, the players line up and each affectionately say to their coach, "It's your turn, coach." Alex, now that you're completing your 4 years at Steward with success on the baseball field and in the classroom, I would like to say, it's your turn, Alex. I know because of who you are and your family that you will become a positive, successful person in life and whatever career you choose, because you are a truly good person. I will miss you at Steward, Alex, and I wish you all the grace and goodness you deserve and the life that lies ahead for you.
Tucker, I wanted to dress up as a skier for this taping, but alas, using pieces of 1x4 as pretend skis and old hockey sticks as poles seemed a little lame in the costume department. Lame might also be what you're thinking of my skiing, considering that I created lovely sine curves while going downhill, or side hill as the case more accurately was. Okay, so this talk is supposed to be about you. Here's the thing, it really already is, because you're one of the few people I know who might be chuckling on the inside, thinking of my mathematical description of skiing, or who would find my joking about calculating the derivative of your position on the slopes right before you crashed even remotely humorous. The way you think about the big picture of any problem, the way you dive into any application, the way you strategize out your approach, the way you seek to grasp theory and apply what you know, the way you question everything with a plethora of what-ifs. Wow, I've enjoyed your presence in class. Teaching you has challenged me to be better at my craft and being better at being human. While I have taught you, you have in turn mentored me in the art of being comfortable in my own skin. Zeke and I hope you will visit after graduation and offer pointers on drone repair. I'm so thankful for the privilege of knowing you.
I can remember the first time I saw Kelly. It was freshman orientation, and Miss Healy and I were explaining about what to do on the first day. And there was Kelly, just chatting away, having a great time. I was like, who is this kid who is talking during orientation? I should have known. Kelly is one of a kind. She is not hard to spot in her Alabama visor and sunglasses on inside the building. She's a triple threat, bright student, strong athlete, beautiful singer. I feel like Kelly is the glue that holds the class together. She is friends with all sorts of different people. She is the first to give a friend a hug of support. If I need to know if someone is struggling, I know I can go to Kelly. Kelly calls me squad for some reason that still is unknown to me. It does make me feel very cool to walk past her in the hallways and say, squad up. I'm not even sure what that means. Kelly has had some ups and downs. That whole torn ACL was not fun. The best thing is that if I have to talk to Kelly, even for something minor, her first words are always, please don't call Janesta. Kelly, I would tell you to keep being yourself, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Best of luck next year.
Gabby, one of my favorite things about you is how much you love life and how passionate you are about certain things, like bands, traveling, and sometimes even boys. I'm sure you've had the same laugh the whole time I've known you, but I haven't heard it nearly as much as I have this year. To be totally honest, there have been times that I've not been expecting it, and your laugh has literally made me jump in my chair in my classroom. But when I've gotten over the shock, I have to smile, because it's you and I know you're out there having fun. As much as you love to laugh, you're also open about how often you cry, which I also love because I'm a secret crier as well. I remember when we were on the way to Spain and about to land, and I looked over and you were crying. At first I thought something was really wrong, like maybe you were homesick, but then I realized it was happiness. And after I made fun of you for a second, I could appreciate it as a sweet moment, because I know how much and for how long you wanted to travel to Spain. You and Tanya would not let us forget it. This year, I've had the pleasure of chatting with you about even more personal things that I won't go into here, but conversations often got very intense in the afternoons. That intensity and passion that I see in how you live your life translates into you being a super loyal friend and a wonderful daughter. I know that your future holds a ton of travel, new friendships, and lots of experiences. I just can't wait for you to come back and share them with me so we can laugh together.
Dear Davis, for all time, my memories of you will be linked to Will and all of the zany antics the two of you managed in my English class. We had so much fun, and that class will stay with me as one of my favorites, largely because of the laughter and joy you and Will brought with you every day. Thank you for giving me those memories. Now, let's talk about your brain. Frankly, I marvel at your intelligence regarding all things computer related. I think we've probably added members to Steward's IT team for the sole purpose of defending against your daily assaults on the school's firewall. Largely, though, I think you use your powers for good. For instance, your work as a teacher introducing your students to various levels of computer science has been most impressive. As you increase your abilities at Virginia Tech, I can't imagine what heights you are going to reach in your field. I fully expect to see you publishing and innovating even before you graduate. Just one more thing. Thank you for caring intensely about other people. I realize it isn't always easy to do, but the care I've seen you give to people in need has been extraordinary. Even more than your computing skills, I think your ability to help those in need is your greatest gift. I hope you'll keep caring for others in big and small ways throughout your life. Now, go out there and do great things. And remember, just because you can hack the federal government doesn't mean you should. All the best, Davis.
Marianne, I'm going to miss you so much next year. The thing I'm going to miss about you the most is your fearlessness. You are such a strong, smart, and beautiful young woman. You have such a presence about you. You know what you want, and you're never afraid to go after it. You might not fully realize it, but that kind of bold, audacious attitude is both unique and inspirational to others. When you blaze forward, you pave the way for others to come behind you and enjoy the same advantages and experiences that you've helped to create. You are strong beyond measure. And even though you know who you aren't conceited in your strength. In fact, you have the sweetest and most loyal heart. I love how loyal you are to your family and how much you love Patrick. You constantly remind me not only the importance of family, but also the joy of being with family has to offer. I know no matter where your college path takes you, you will make a difference. I know no matter where your college path takes you, you will make a difference. You were so sweet the afternoon that you asked me to speak for you. The flowers you gave me meant so much to me. Knowing that, I want to send you into the future with the same gift of love, the gift of love and respect. So these flowers are for you.
Taylor, or Taywalk as I know her, has been a positive fixture in my day for the past 3 years. She stops by and gives a friendly, "Hi, Monday," and we chat about our days. We love talking about warm vacation spots, our pets, and our families. Taylor is extremely close with hers, by the way. Taylor is a hardworking student, a gifted athlete, and a good friend. Taylor always gives her best effort on every assignment and asks questions when she was confused. Things at Steward occasionally have not been perfect, but I admire how Taylor can talk about her feelings and always meets any challenge with a positive attitude. She is not afraid to try something new and is able to laugh at herself. I think this resiliency and sense of humor are two of the most important qualities that someone can have. Miss Arnold told me that she calls Taylor Sweet Tea because that is what her dad calls her. What a perfect nickname. Taylor is kind, compassionate, and supportive. Taylor, I know you're going to be successful next year because you have all of these qualities. Best of luck.
Dear Bryce, you're one of the most eclectic people I know. Firefighter, fine clothing salesman, photographer, EMT student, Eagle Scout, SEA president. I could go on and on. Although your interests are varied, your dedication to them is constant. You don't take something on unless you're prepared to give it your best, and that sense of dedication is extraordinary. We've all been fortunate to enjoy your photography in the upper school building for the past 4 years. You have a unique eye, are a wizard at Photoshop, and I deeply appreciate your interest in capturing the beauty of Richmond. In addition, the video you made for your senior project, shot and edited entirely on your iPhone, was very impressive and quite innovative. Truly, your talent is exceptional, and I hope you continue to pursue photography for the rest of your life. You've had a mighty set of challenges to face this year, but you've encountered each day with optimism, focus, and determination. Watching you find ways to overcome obstacles in your path was inspirational, and I marveled at your ability to always find a way forward. You're going to be a brilliant EMT and paramedic because of your tenacity, compassion, and dedication. I'm so proud of you and know you'll continue to create a life of success and happiness. I wish you all the very best, and I'm always here if you need me.
All right, Mary, congratulations. It's the big weekend, graduation, and you deserve it. And I hope you have a great one. Sorry I couldn't be here with you and do this in person, but family obligations. So I first got to know Mary. I got to know her older sister, who I was teaching tennis with, and she was actually a student at Goochland High School, and Mary was here. And then Mary came into the tennis ranks in 8th grade, and she had been doing a little bit of tennis in 7th and doing a few tournaments. And then as she worked up through the rotation, she broke into the lineup in 9th grade. And that's when our relationship started to flourish a little bit, or get conflictive, as Mary and I would laugh at each other. But it was interesting because over the course of 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, Mary would, she would challenge me. And it was very interesting because I would push her, and that's what coaches do, is I always tried to push my players, to another tier. And Mary would always have a pushback with me. And, she was in the middle of the lineup in those rotations. Well, now we're at her senior year, and Mary is the oldest member of the team. She's the only senior, and we have nothing but 9th and 8th graders. So I offered Mary the captain's position, and Mary had never been in that position. And we had a little discussion first, because this is the point where Mary's going to have to step away from her usual moves that sometimes, she didn't like losing, and losing is tough for everyone. But being a captain is a different experience, and it's about picking up the team, and it's not about Mary, it's about everyone. So we had our discussion, we talked about, what the criteria were, and I think that she was going to be able to do it. Over the course of the season, again, Mary and I, we disagreed on a few things on how I thought she should handle a situation, and she thought that maybe that was the way that it needed to be done. But this is, again, I'm challenging Mary and Mary challenging me back. And that's where Mary and I will always smile at each other, because we had our battles. And in the end, not only did I think she became a better person, but she made me a better coach, because it helped me understand that I'm always looking to improve as well, because I need the Marys out there to help me be better. So the best point in the whole situation that comes to the end is Mary at states. We're in our final matches. We qualified for states for the girls. This is our first time at states, and Mary's playing number 3, and this is what it was all about. Mary went out there and for the first time left everything out there that could be left. All her energy, all her mind. She was trembling in between games, and she was playing a girl who was better than she was. But Mary was not going to go down without this fight. And that is what I was trying to draw out of Mary for many years. And as far as I'm concerned, that was everything for me as a coach. So as we come to an end here, I think you did a great job, Mary. I have no doubt that you'll have a successful college career, and I know you're going to have fun, and with your personality, there's nowhere but up. So congratulations again on graduation, and study when you get to school.
Peace.
Tina, or should I say Rutong, I have had the pleasure of teaching you for the last 4 years, and we have become quite close. I'm so glad that you have been able to experience such things as the beautiful art at the VMFA, the architecture and costuming in Williamsburg, and the Chinese pandas, gorillas, and monkeys at the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. Your family, Kay and Tim Henry, made sure that your interests and curiosities were made available to you, which enriched your life in so many ways for the past 2 years. I've enjoyed being part of your art journey, which you actually started when you were 6 years old. This has been a totally different art experience for you, which you have treated with enthusiasm and dignity. It has been fun watching you step out into the world of experimentation with new and different techniques and media. As you put it, you have become brave, which has pleased me so much. Tina, you have an incredible gift for the art of perspective, and I watch the other students being amazed at what you create. You are so generous when you take the time to share your expertise with them. I would say perspective drawing is one of your greatest talents. I always enjoyed telling you my cat stories because I just love to see you laugh. I don't know of anyone else that would indulge me as much as you do, especially when I talk about the cat stroller. Your laughter always brightens up my day. Tina, I want nothing but the best for you next year when you continue your path at the Virginia Tech Architecture Department. Your major in exploring architecture is just perfect for you. I will miss you and your daily hugs, but I know we will always stay in touch. There are no goodbyes, my friend. Remember that.
Cole Daddy, this is a hard thing to write. How do you sum up 4 years together in a minute? There really is no overarching theme to draw upon, unless Entenmann's chocolate-covered donuts and the endless quest for advisory food count as a theme. And if it does, how do I go on for a minute about donuts, and more importantly, what would that say about our relationship? I can talk about your physical transformation over the 4 years. Now, I can go about that in 2 ways. I can try and go the funny route and say something clever like you're half the man you used to be and better for it. Or I could try the sappy, corny, metaphorical angle and compare you to a beautiful butterfly that has changed from a Jabba the Hutt-like caterpillar. But true, deep, and meaningful relationships like ours are never solely based on physical, so that doesn't really work either. I can talk about your swimming career, but it was short and unspectacular. That won't do. I can talk about our private conversations, which were awesome and enlightening, but they aren't for public consumption. Or I can talk about how you figured it out, for the most part, how you're a calmer, more mature person, for the most part. And I think you're now more comfortable in your own skin, which there was less of. Cole, I really do view you as one of my own, and there is no higher praise I can give other than to just say I'm proud of you. What? That's a minute? Oh, I guess it wasn't that hard.
What is life? What is truth? Why are we here? Are revolutions caused by multiple ontological dimensions within a single society? Should I go to PT or get physics help? And where is my backpack? I'm so hungry. I like cars. Christopher, Figglehorn. I'm not really sure where you go in your mind during class sometimes, but I do know The tangents that you like to try to take the class on are these big, unanswerable, philosophical, societal questions, which kind of are my favorite. But speaking of tangents, you're a sneaky leader. For as much as you don't do your homework and tend to try to rationalize your way out of other work, you do lead the class in some good habits and in other compelling and intangible ways. Freshman year, after one 45-minute Python coding class, you returned the next day, unsolicited, with a 3-page, single-space program about how to escape the woods. You were so excited to show me and your classmates. You might not even remember this. We know Will doesn't. But it was so telling that you do something without caring if it was cool or assigned. And it's been that way ever since. You've come to ask me questions about gravitation and time, and always pick up on the bigger picture of videos that I show in class. Sometimes at the expense of smaller things, like how to solve physics problems. Meh. I imagine you've inspired others to be fit with talk of the gym and that truly accurate picture of you in the senior lounge. And you've encouraged others to have evidence-based opinions by sharing yours respectively and with an open mind. So, Fig, Chris, some answers for you. Life is what you make of it. Truth is learned through the sharing of human experiences and by doing some homework. You left your backpack at the gym, and as to why we're here, I believe that's a personal thing. But like great philosophers of the past, you're going to pursue that your whole life, and it's going to be great.
There are some spectacular graduates in the class of 2017, but there's only one senior I would trust with the keys to my truck, my credit card, and my son's life, and that's obviously Landon Smith. The kids at after school call him Mr. Landon if that's his superhero name or something. I and many other parents have shown up to looks of disappointment on our kids' faces when they realized we were taking them away from him. And 5-year-olds are not very good liars, so that's for real. Landon, if my son sees you as a father, then I have to admit I see you like a son. Well, I have no idea why you and the rest of those junior boys wandered into my office last year, started asking me questions about cars, girls, and the meaning of life. I'm so glad you did. You made me feel like part of the Steward family, and I'm sincerely appreciative of that. Over the past 2 years, I've been incredibly proud to watch you grow as a leader of those boys, as much as anyone can be. And even though I give you a hard time constantly, I'm always in your corner. So permit me one last bit of coaching. Landon, you have high expectations for your life. Porsche, Aston Martin, Ferrari. You're going to need to work hard to achieve them. Have confidence that your kindness and vision are inspiring to those around you. Take charge of the situation and act decisively. You have to know that you're capable of achieving something great because everyone else already does.
Fiercely intelligent, intensely motivated, deeply loyal. Ashley Higgs is all of this and yet so much more. Ashley is one of the most intellectually intense people I've ever met. She always wants to understand issues deeply and thoroughly. She approaches every experience with laser-like focus. She can be incredibly serious as well as incredibly kind. When she sees a problem in the world, Ashley uses all of her intense focus to try to make life better. Ashley's dedicated to international human rights, working diligently with Amnesty International whenever we met. I also watch her supporting her friends with her hallmark fierce loyalty and courage. Her personal path hasn't always been easy, and that's part of what makes her accomplishments all the more extraordinary. Imagine all of Ashley's intensity coming from the eyes of a small child. When Ashley was just a kid in lower school, she cried after earning a low score on a quiz. "How will I get into UVA now?" she asked. While the rest of the kids were running around the playground, little Ashley was planning ahead. Well, 10 years later, and she's accepted into University of Virginia. Clearly, she's a gifted student, but in my opinion, the most amazing quality she possesses is her grit. Many people are very bright. Many people work very hard. Altogether, too few combine incredible gifts with incredible dedication. Ashley's got it, and she worked so hard to get it. She brings to mind a great Robert F. Kennedy quotation: Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. It is from the numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each from a million different centers of energy and daring those ripples builds a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. Ashley's stunning bravery, her quiet strength, her incredible determination, and her deep sense of compassion define her. Her presence at Steward will be so missed, but we should all feel proud of her hard-won success and inspired by her profound sense of purpose. I know she will continue to build a more just and righteous world.
Dear Will, thank you, along with your partner in crime, Davis, for making our 10th grade English class an hour I looked forward to every day. Your snarkiness and running commentary were actually hysterical. You also proved to be a gifted thinker and writer that year, so I tolerated the chair sculptures that occasionally appeared in the classroom. In all seriousness, you're smart, really smart, and I hope you become confident in this fact during college. Your intelligence isn't just book smarts. It's also the ability to empathize with people, and you do that very well. As you've navigated tough times, I've noticed your tendency to worry about other people before yourself, which is a rare, wonderful trait. I hope you never lose that ability. On a lighter note, it has been entertaining to watch you develop your obsession with cars. Although I'm not quite sure what you did to kill your first car, I hope things go better with this second effort. As you head off to Hampton, Sydney, I know you're going to do a great job, but I'm going to miss your drop-in visits to my office. I hope you'll keep me posted on all the fantastic things you're bound to do. Stay slightly irreverent, never doubt your intellect, and maybe get a haircut. Good luck, Will.
Chris, it has been a fast 4 years. It has been a pleasure to have watched you develop your artistic skill as well as your intellect over this period of time. In Algebra 1, you were a diligent student who wanted to understand the concepts in addition to the mechanics of solving the problem. It is impressive to see that you continue that same perseverance today. Chris, while I may have been your math teacher a few times during your high school years, I have learned a thing or two from you. I love how you follow your passion. You look at the big picture and see where you can plug in your passion. I have seen you mature to take on a more serious leadership role, especially in our stats class, where your peers are often looking to you for guidance and help. Recently, I have gone back and looked at old photos and videos from our ramps building project. You were always right in the middle of the action, tightening a bolt or helping your group to see how the pieces fit together. One of our other qualities that I admire most is your loyalty to your friends. I have great respect for your allegiance and devotion to your circle of friends. Next year, when you trade your blue and gold for black and gold as you become a member of the Ram Nation, I will look for you in the student section during the VCU basketball games, cheering your team on to victory. However, I hope you will always remember the special friendships that you have made here at the Steward School. I will miss visiting with you and your table mates in the junior commons next year. So you're off to VCU next year, where you will be able to continue to expand your many gifts and talents and learn from others. You have made an impact on me and those around you during your time at the Steward School. We cannot wait to hear about your many adventures that life is waiting to offer you. Please come back and visit, at least so that we can discuss the potential VCU bracket upsets during March Madness. Best wishes to you, and I know you will be successful in whatever you strive to accomplish.
Sonia, my first memories of you are as a student in Spanish 1. It was a pretty rambunctious class, and I remember you would give me silent encouragement and discreet eye rolls when some of the less mature boys, like maybe Jack Clifton, got a little out of hand. You were also one of the first and most consistent members of the Pinterest Club. We had a lot of fun trying to do different things, but mostly falling back on the always reliable and fun bake sale. Even though I knew you fairly well, I was surprised with your perseverance when you and Gabby basically stalked Mr. Forlano and me. You were always respectful, but I learned that you were serious about making a trip to Spain happen. You stopped by so often that I would get worried if I didn't see you after 2 or 3 days. And you were so darn determined that you succeeded. Spain was a whirlwind of places and activities and experiences. We both got a little tired and sometimes even grumpy. You were so exhausted on the first night that you and Emma literally fell asleep on the table of the restaurant, and I still have a picture to prove it. But during the best parts of the trip, you were so excited to explore and take videos and pictures, even taking about 100 with my phone, and capture the experience we all had together. Now as a senior, I've really enjoyed chatting with you before and after school, sometimes about borderline inappropriate things that happen on The Bachelor, but always taking the time to check in. I'm gonna miss you stopping by to chat with me next year, but I'm so excited for all the experiences that you'll have and the pictures you will take wherever you end up. Just remember to come back and share them with me.
Take a look at this. And listen to this.
Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop, collaborate, and listen.
And this. There are certain things on this earth that one could never invent. But when you see or you hear them, it is obvious that clearly they need to exist and are part of this world. This is Summer Owens. If you're lucky enough to know her, you know that just like a great piece of art or music or biological specimen, sorry I couldn't get a dolphin in here, she needs to and she should exist in this world and in my world. Let's talk about the cross-country world. Summer's a big deal in this world. It's a world of blood and guts and lost shoes, literally and figuratively. It's full of labored breathing and pain, and I realize I've just talked everyone and recruited everyone into cross-country, but Summer would come to every practice and every race, so happy and encouraging and positive to me and to the entire team, including our squirrely little middle schoolers. I'd like to think of myself as a relatively happy person, but on some days I would think, she is out-happying me. Which at first, I tried to out-happy her right back, but I realized, dude, this lady athlete, she's amazing. And you have worked hard in the classroom and out. You have earned all of the positions and accolades you have garnered. And when presented with challenges, you treated them like birthday cakes, with excitement before digging in. This is why you'll be so greatly missed here at Steward, and why I know you will find success, and more importantly, happiness, wherever you go and in whatever you do. During a tough race, a wise coach once said, "Summer, the faster you go, the faster you'll finish." I still remember that look of contempt you gave me from that ill-timed humor. Noted. And that was terrible advice. You went way too fast through these 4 years. We're going to miss you. I'm gonna miss you. And B's going to miss you.
Madison, I have known you for 2 years now, not only as my advisee, but as my student. Last year, you came into my class every day on your own just for the sake of drawing. This year, you actually became one of my art students, and I am so glad you did. You have a natural talent that should not be ignored. You, like any typical teenager, enjoy getting together with friends, shopping at the mall, or seeing a good movie. However, there are some other very important beings that are super important to you. Their names are Izzo, Maggie, Buddy, Oliver, Lulu, and Lily. These are not relatives or best human friends. They are your animal friends that share their love with you each and every day. You are the consummate animal lover. Your main focus or pastime has been partnering with Izzo. Izzo has been in your life for 3 years, and you spend 2 hours each day after school riding your beautiful horse. He also accompanies you to the month-long Mississippi Gulf Coast Classic horse shows. In other words, he is a very important part of your life. You are a committed horseback rider and have been for 10 years. You and Izzo specialize in the hunter-jumper discipline of horseback riding. In fact, you don't become the reserve champion in your division for the state of Virginia for 2016 without exhibiting excellence. You and Izzo have a nice relationship, even though you admit he can be bad by bucking you off all the time. I understand that you have given him many second chances. Maggie and Buddy are always happy in your presence. After school and on weekends, you enjoy cuddling with your lovable pups. In fact, they would sleep with you if that was allowed. However, that is reserved for your 3 cats, Oliver, Lulu, and Lily. All 3 join you in the evenings just to relax on your bed while you give them snacks and watch TV. I understand that Lulu is the greatest cuddler of them all. Madison, I wish you the best next year as you continue your life plan. Please return to Steward and visit us as often as you can. We would love to hear from you.
I am absolutely convinced you could not find a more easygoing and good-natured person than Alex Lee. I first met Alex his sophomore year when I must have asked him a million questions about South Korea, despite the fact he is among the most assimilated international students I've ever met. I have so many funny memories involving Alex, who was far too nice to refuse to play any character I asked him to be when I taught him again as a senior in Shakespeare. So half the time he wound up playing a woman's role, which he handled with his characteristic easygoing grin. Alex handles most challenges with a smile. He managed to keep a good-natured grin even after everyone teased him for getting the most dramatic speeding ticket you could possibly imagine. Even after his friends photoshopped his face onto a Fast and Furious poster, Alex kept his good attitude. Despite his love of driving quickly, Alex also loves a good nap, so you have to keep a close eye on him if you happen to watch a movie with him. Whenever I would ask students in his class their favorite part of the weekend, Alex would invariably report sleep. Because he loves his beauty rest, you have to make a plan if you need for him to be someplace bright and early. You'll need to appoint a handler. When we had to meet at school no later than 7:30 for a field trip, Alex Lee was the very first person there, along with his buddy Ross, who bravely took charge of getting Alex there on time. Alex is going to love going to college in the fall, and I know he will make great friends there too. Alex, just be sure to follow the speed limit and don't sign up for any 8 a.m. classes.
Ty is cool. Ty came to Steward as a junior after the school year had already started, not knowing anyone, and in about a week it seemed like he had been here forever. He had made friends and was totally comfortable. Ty wrote his senior speech on how cool his 2-year-old brother, Lennox, is. If you've not had the pleasure of meeting Lennox, he's the one at the basketball games surrounded by all the senior girls. I think he got his mojo from Ty. Ty is cool at school. No matter how much he has on his plate, he does not get overwhelmed. He is very bright, but never makes a show of his ability. He keeps a lighthearted sense of humor and a fun-loving personality. Ty even looks cool at school. Patagonia hat, sweatshirt, cool shoes. Do you know Ty loves to ski? That's cool. Ty looks cool on the basketball court. He makes this great face when he brings the ball up the court, as if to say to the other team, "Yeah, right, you're not gonna stop me." He makes these ridiculous shots and acts like it was no big deal. Ty and Jordan put together a middle school basketball clinic for their senior project, and to be honest, I wasn't sure if it was gonna happen. Meanwhile, they had a great clinic, and they had a former pro basketball player come to talk to the kids. Cool. Ty, I'm gonna miss your cool self next year. Best of luck.
Liza and I have known each other. I've known Liza since the 8th grade, in which she entered the photography club and has been in my photography class since the 9th grade. Over the years, we found Liza, along with sense of humor, I think, a number of things in common. First of all, we drive down Patterson Avenue almost every day. Liza will come in, I won't see her on the road, but she'll say, Mr. Alley, I saw you on Patterson. And I said, what was I doing? And she said, driving. And, you know, so that's a kind of a small connection there, hopefully building up to more significant. We also have an interest, of course, in photography. I found that during her senior project, we had a common interest in the history of Richmond, and I was very much interested in her photographs of Richmond historic sites. And then also along the way, a very interesting connection is that one day Liza came in and said that she thinks that I might have gone to high school with her uncle, Matt, and in fact, that's the case. And so there's also that family connection of fond memories of my high school days, and only fond memories of Liza going through high school and photography and sharing interests together. And one kind of may come surprise to Liza, but certainly she knows my interest in Edgar Allan Poe, and that, you know, I've read another story of his, and I was reading one in particular as I was taking a walk one afternoon, and I would describe the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain as it filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. Still, the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, this it is and nothing more. However, I began to become worrisome as my heart raced. I began to jog and then run to my house, hoping to escape the murder on the pages. I dropped the book on the pavement and locked my door, nevermore. So enjoyed all the things that we have in common, Liza. Enjoy your year next year at Virginia Commonwealth University. Please continue to work in photography, share your interests. One last thing we have in common is I'm also a VCU graduate, so go Rams.
Corey, I am so honored that you asked me to speak on your behalf. I have to say, not only do I like you, but I think that you are cute as a button. I love the fact that you make a special effort to speak to me every morning and throughout the day. I have especially enjoyed watching you grow in the past 4 years. You always seem to be on top of the world. You are such a smart and talented young man. I was so impressed by your talent night performance. You mesmerized the crowd with your trumpet performance. Not to mention, you have always had the ability to make others smile and laugh with your unique sense of humor. You actually remind me of a young Jimmy Fallon. I have even thought about giving him a call and asking him if you could make a guest appearance on his show. You better save me a spot in the front row if you are ever a guest on the show. All of these qualities are going to serve you well. I know that you are going to forge ahead and make your own path in the next couple of years. I'm truly excited to see where your path is going to take you, whether you end up being a successful businessman or a famous musician. I am confident you will leave your mark on the world.
Dear Cole, let's talk about your writing. Now, you know I think you're a magnificent writer, but just in case you didn't get that memo, allow me to expound. I've been reading students' writing for 18 years, and yours is easily one of the very best. What makes your writing grand is your voice. It is natural, fluid, and believable. Most writers your age don't trust their voices, putting on tones and affects like ill-fitting costumes. You don't, which is why your writing is great. But here's the truth about life as a writer, whether you decide to pursue writing professionally or not. Writing is both misery and bliss. The misery will come in the form of self-doubt, manuscript rejections, and blank pages that refuse to yield. The bliss, though, will be worth the misery. You'll write something that flows effortlessly from you, or have a reader who grasps your meaning perfectly. I think author Enid Bagnold said it best. Who wants to become a writer, and why? Because it's the answer to everything. It's the streaming reason for living. to note, to pin down, to build up, to create, to be astonished at nothing, to cherish the oddities, to let nothing go down the drain, to make something, to make a great flower out of life, even if it's a cactus. And the world needs writers now more than ever. We need them to help us interpret this messy, beautiful world and to make sense of things that seem senseless. You have the talent to be one of these writers, Cole. I hope you'll send me a signed copy of your first publication. Best of luck.
Mary Catherine, I first met you when I came to Steward for my demo lesson while interviewing for the library position. The former librarian, Mrs. Hawkins, introduced me to you and then said, "This is Mary Catherine. She's a sophomore and she helps me in the library whenever she can. There's no one in the school who loves the library more than she does. She'll be your best friend if you accept this position." She was right. From the moment you walked into the library on my first day and said, "Hi, you must be the new librarian. I work here. Just tell me what you want me to do," we were instant buds. You probably don't know this, but that single moment made me feel so much better on my first day. From that moment on, I knew I had a partner. Despite your current bout of senioritis that you suffered from over the course of the last several months, nothing makes my day brighter than when I see you walk into the library. Now, despite the fact that my tasks are met with not very much enthusiasm or completion, I can usually just look up and say, "Earn that A, MK," and the motivation to shelve 5 out of 50 books or pass out roughly a quarter of the overdue notices suddenly hits and there's no stopping you to finish, by your definition. What I can always count on you to do, however, is what I consider to be the most important job of all: help all of our younger students share in your love of reading by finding them just the right book if I'm busy. This is something that I value above all, and to see you light up and energetically run over to the fiction section when a 6th grader has the courage to ask a senior about a book recommendation makes my day. For this, you've certainly earned that A, and I will certainly feel a void next year. MK, I've never known the Steward Library without you by my side every day, and the first day of school next year is going to be completely bizarre. I'm going to be sad every time I see my phone charger being unused or look at my desk and not see your coffee cup, wallet, books, folders, homework, class notes, phone case, hair tie, snack wrappers. Well, you get the gist. But I'll be much more sad when I don't get to see your smile and your daily enthusiastic, "Hi, Mrs. Freed" greeting every morning. I'm going to miss you so much. Good luck in college, keep reading, keep in touch, and tell me all about your adventures. Don't hesitate to ask me for help whenever you need it. And don't forget to come home and visit every once in a while. Congratulations, I'm so proud of you.
Like any great scholar, I'm about to quote Wikipedia. Here goes. The coconut. Botanically, it's a drupe, not a nut. It has 3 layers: the exocarp, the mesocarp, and the endocarp. Emmett, you know exactly where I'm going with this. Freshman year, Honors Physics 1, I lost count at around infinity how many times you told me about your coconut brain. How it's hard to crack, but once in, it's the land of milk and water. Funny story, just yesterday, I cut an actual coconut in half for the first time. Steak knife? Nope. High-end kitchen bread knife? Ha! Wood saw. Vice grip, coping saw, coconut bracing from Magnus, Mr. Atkinson, in. Besides the fact that I should have done this your freshman year to understand the depths of what you were telling me, I do just want to thank you. The inside of this coconut, it's really beautiful. And after that rough exocarp, the smooth and perfect endocarp is surprisingly amazing. When Shane and I thought we lost you a few times in Europe, we were surprised to find you talking with a different group of people. After all, the second and third, etc., guessing of yourself in class, you chose to immerse yourself in a foreign country and culture for a whole year without knowing the language. And now, knowing and the almost grave, huge challenges of social justice and genetics, you are choosing to pursue the study of both, just because. Emmett, I'm convinced your coconut brain will lead you to great things. The hard shell will not let you consider anything as impossible, and the amazingly beautiful inside will lead you to create a better world for you and for others. Keep me posted.
Jordan Pointer. It is my pleasure to speak on behalf of Jordan Pointer. Jordan transferred to Steward 2 years ago and made an immediate impact on his classmates due to his cool, calm, and collected nature, and due to his extremely tall stature. Jordan is an extremely polite and respectful young man, and I've enjoyed watching him on the basketball court and in my human anatomy class this year. Each year in my class, I give my students the task of telling me a little about themselves in a personal statement. Here's what Jordan said. His favorite thing to do is play basketball, no surprise there. His least favorite thing to do is clean the house. His favorite music is rap. He's not very good at soccer. His favorite color is blue, and his friends would describe him as tall. Jordan also stated that he is great at being a good person. And you know what? He is great at being a good person. Here's what he didn't say in his personal statement. He has traveled to 7 different states on the East Coast playing AAU basketball. He has helped feed the homeless at the Jack and Jill organization. He is active in his local church. Besides his senior project for this year, he has helped organize and run a basketball camp for elementary and middle school students. In his paper for his senior project this year, a basketball clinic that he and Ty hosted, Jordan wrote the following about the goals for his project. By doing this, children will feel confident and proud of themselves. They will feel better about themselves and their ability to accomplish things they are challenged with. Having self-confidence is a very important quality to have, especially in a child's future. Sports camps can play a really big part in increasing that confidence. I believe that this says a lot about the good that lies within Jordan. He is going to have a positive impact on the lives of others because he is one of those good persons. We will miss you at Steward, Jordan, and I wish you well and good luck in whatever the future brings next fall.